So morning, all you early birds. I was just saying to myself that, yeah, in my house, everybody's a late nighter. So it's nice to kind of have a bit of company in the morning for a change. So, yeah, thank you for showing up for another morning's meditation. We're traversing through the system of practice, Triratna system of practice, via some archetypes. So the integration aspect of the system, I've looked at it through the lens of the warrior, and that's really about sort of really learning the strength and discipline to keep returning, and in that returning, developing concentration, that discipline of the warrior to return to what is deemed to be the object of focus. And by doing that, we naturally kind of bring our disparate parts to kind of integrate together, to kind of align. When the body and mind are aligned, there's a kind of natural sense of unification that kind of brings joy, brings ease, brings a kind of settled, peaceful experience. And this is something that we cultivate through the practices, the integration practices. And then we looked at the archetype of the lover, the realm of the heart, the realm of emotion, and the ability that we have to actually cultivate those emotions that bring us joy, bring us gladness, appreciation, gratitude. And it's actually scientifically proven that these practices actually raise the level of our immune system. So one teacher I know was saying if he ever got COVID, that he knew what he'd be practicing. He'd definitely be going for the restful, the Metabhavana, the Brahma Viharas, because they actually raise the immune system's strength and ability. So it has spiritual qualities, but it also has a physical effect as well. And looking at those through kind of archetypes of parents, mother, father, that kind of love, the kind of love that you have for your lover, your romantic lover, but bringing those all into a kind of slightly different context. So these two dimensions of the system of practice are, they're ones that in a sense we use to get ourselves into a place where we are stable enough and positive enough to begin a process, which is a process which brings in the third archetype, which is the one we're looking at today, the one of magician. And it's called spiritual death. And this is, we need stability and we need positivity in order to begin to dismantle our perceptual reality, our perceptual situation. So we've inherited, by dint of being human, a perceptual situation where we see ourselves as one thing, we see others as something else, and we begin to believe that we have to protect this and push away that which doesn't support this, what we consider this is, to survive and thrive. And as I said yesterday, we believe that fear is our best ally in that effort. But actually, when we take a closer look, we see that we've really got it quite topsy-turvy. What we think is real isn't real. And if you read the sutras, there's just countless little proclamations after the Buddha's given a teaching. You know, one of the disciples, one of his monks will say, "Oh Lord, it is as if that which was upside down has been righted," or, "Oh, I thought it was this, but it was actually this." And it's those sorts of moments, and we've all experienced them. They're sort of magical moments where, you know, another image is like, "Oh wow, I thought that was a snake. I was terrified. But now I just see it's a rope. Oh wow." And there's this sense of like, sort of like, "Oh, I thought you were having a go at me, but actually you're just scared." You know, there's those moments of insight where what we think is the case turns out not to be the case. And in that not being the case, something is let go of, something that we'd identified and seen a particular way and fixed in a particular way, kind of unravels, unfolds, releases, and lets go. So the magician, I don't know, when I say magician, I don't know what the pictures are that you get in your head of a magician. I think possibly the one in Lord of the Rings, Gandalf. It's one of my images, certainly. But this practice of actively seeking out those experiences where something that we thought was one way, like a bubble, just pops, and we see, oh, it wasn't that at all. It wasn't that at all. So each of these practices, in particular once we get into a spiritual death context, it's not the first two practices, the integration and the positive emotion, the warrior and the lover, are designed to kind of make us feel good. You know, if we practice them well, they're actually things that we come away going, "Oh, that was nice," you know, sort of blissfully states. Whereas this is it's something different, and in the process of getting there, it can be a bit unstabilizing. It's not necessarily something that kind of has us feel blissful. And so I think it's really important to say that in the journey of working in this practice, if at some moments you feel like a little bit untethered or a little bit destabilized, or, you know, that you can at any moment return back to the breath. You know, the breath is always going to be a stabilizing thing. We can always be riding on our experience of the breath, or returning to our heart, returning to any images that we have that bring us that sense of a loving awareness or a sense of being loved. So at any point in this practice, you know, that's available, just returning back to that. So it's, you know, this isn't designed to have us feel good. It's designed, you know, ultimately it brings massive benefits of equanimity and peace and seeing things in a new way. But in the journey towards that, sometimes we may need to sort of go back to land for a bit before we allow ourselves to be in sort of slightly uncharted territory. And it should be uncharted territory. You know, that's a good thing. You know, we need to welcome in uncertainty. We need to be willing to lose sight of the shore in order to discover new lands. And that's what this practice is aimed at seeing something new that's always been there, but we haven't noticed it. So it's finding our seat, our sense of dignity. And just a sense of honouring that we've chosen to make our endeavour one of transforming consciousness. And here we are with all these other lovely, 30 other lovely beings who've got up at 7 on a Saturday morning to keep on this path of slowly but surely seeking a figure ground reversal from one which is an inherited and automatic fear response to life, to an experience that allows us to see something quite mysterious and magical. So rooting down through the base of the spine, having a connection with the earth. Having a sense of the place, the land that you are on, wherever you are. You're on a piece of this beautiful earth, this beautiful planet. In relationship with the earth. Allowing the energy, still, quiet, dark energy of the earth to rise through us, through our spines, give us strength. Rising up, meeting the crown of our head and opening the crown of our head, the vastness of sky above us. And just seeing if we can find a softness in the body. Finding a softness and an aliveness in the body. Having a sense of deep relaxation. It's giving ourselves a sense of how we are this morning. And coming into relationship with our bodies. Bringing our awareness, saying hello to the soles of our feet and our toes. Noticing the play of sensations. Being aware of our ankles. Our calves and shins. Just bringing the amazing quality of awareness, really inhabiting this awareness as we move through the body. Our knees, and the thighs and buttocks. And feeling our connection with the earth rising up into our belly, finding a softness, gentleness. Feeling your back as long and wide. Having a sense of the breadth of the shoulders. Sense of the freedom in the neck. Allowing a softness in the jaw. Allowing all the muscles in the face to soften, open. Really feeling the breadth in the shoulders. Awareness of the arms, the elbows, the wrists. And each finger. Allowing the scalp of the head, the ears to release. Now just allow the movement of the breath, having a sense of the waves of the breath, raised, right, making the chest bigger and smaller. With this breath, we are connected with all life. And we are connected to all life for all time. So if you can find the most easeful and appreciative breath that you could possibly breathe. Now having a sense of all the sensations and vibrations of the body. We're going to just start by investigating, just choosing one sensation in the body that feels quite predominant. It could be a place where there's a sense of pressure, the ground, or with the hands and the thighs, or wherever they are, just wherever is their predominant sensation in the body. It may feel quite solid, like this sensation has been with me since the beginning of the meditation. There could be a particular pain in the body, or sense of pressure, or perhaps a sense of whatever pleasure, whatever the sensation is, doesn't really matter. It's one that feels, has the sense of being fairly solid to you in this moment. We're just going to investigate and just bring our attention just repeatedly back to this particular sensation. I'd like you just to look, even though it appears solid, can you actually find any permanence? Where is this? Can you actually find in this sensation where the permanence of it actually is? You may find that in looking in this way, particular sensation just disappears. And if it does that, just move to a different part of the body, a different sensation, and investigate that. Really looking, seeing if you can find anything that is actually permanent. And if you can't find permanence, what is there? Can you? What are you experiencing? What is there? And letting go of that inquiry and just having a sense again of your overall body. And just becoming aware of all the different processes in the body. The heart is beating, lungs are breathing, all kinds of liquids moving around, the blood is moving around. Are there any of these systems that you are actually in charge of, that are actually yours? Is there anything about this body that truly belongs to you? These muscles yours, these bones yours. Is this body yours? And if it isn't yours, what is it? Well, now we're moving towards the heart area. Any sense of the emotional tone of our experience this morning? Maybe pleasant, may not feel pleasant, maybe neutral. Whatever the emotional tone is that you're experiencing, let's see if you can inquire into it. You may say there is sadness, there is something called sadness. If we look deeper, what's that sadness made up of? Is there anything permanent in actual experience, in that experience? Even the experience of neutrality, what is it made up of? Is there anything actually permanent in that experience? You may notice that with this kind of attention, something disappears. Sensation just moves, maybe reappears somewhere else, takes a different shape or a different form. You may be able to feel these sensations just like fireworks in the night sky, just appearing and disappearing, appearing and disappearing. Can you predict where the next sensation will arise? And is there anywhere or anything about these sensations that is yours, that belongs to you? Our minds keep seeking permanence, keep thinking that when we find permanence, we'll have arrived, we'll be okay. And yet, if we truly look, what do we find? Is there any sense of allowing these sensations to arise and fall just as they're doing, without having to hold them or fix them or label them? Now, gently moving our awareness to our thought world. Can you predict your next thought? It's maybe a little bamboozling. That's okay. Thoughts are used to thinking that they are the bee's knees, they're the final say on everything. And you just take a moment to just look at them arriving, parading around, and then vanishing. Where are they arising from, these thoughts? Where do they go to? These words or pictures, they arise in the mind and disappear, often causing havoc. Whose thoughts are they? Are they yours? Did you choose them? Just notice the perplexion. What do you mean, those thoughts? Where did that come from? Did you choose to be perplexed? Or did perplexion just arrive? Whose thoughts are these? The thought that came for me was, they're mine and no one's going to take them away from me. Another thought. Who would you be without your thoughts? And letting go of the inquiry now. Just notice the difference between that, the intention to inquire and the focus that needs, and just a letting go, letting be. And you may feel the need to connect with the earth, connect with the sky. Just relaxing. Just taking a few deeper breaths. So if you'd like to sit on with whatever you're experiencing, then please feel free to do that. Drawing the meditation to a close. If you'd like to put any comments or questions in the chat. We have 5 minutes or so and we can connect with any questions. Any observations, any little bubbles. That got burst. So yeah, someone's mentioning about the difference between the kinds of meditation, the integration and positive emotion kind, and then the spiritual death and spiritual rebirth. There's a different quality to them. And someone once asked Rob Berbier about the amount of one or the other, and I think he said you probably want to do three quarters of the time you want to be doing the cultivation, the samatha practices, and then maybe a quarter of the time doing these. I love the idea of thoughts parading around, thinking they own the joint. Yeah. Oh. Good morning and welcome to the meditation zone. Yeah. Oh, sorry. That was someone to the next waiting room. I could feel the thoughts slipping around my brain. Slippery thoughts. Yeah. They are so slippery. Yeah. Good. So, yeah, what we were really doing was just investigating the impermanent, unsatisfactory, and non-self nature of experience. So this is one of the tools that we're looking at in terms of a spiritual death, sort of just being able to sort of let go of our identification, our attachment with our bodies, with our emotions, with our minds, and just seeing what else is there, something different is there. Great, I'm glad you're enjoying it, Lisa. You're welcome. And yeah, maybe one more minute of anything. I had the feeling that this meditation went a lot faster than the others. I don't quite know why, but yeah. Thank you, Kathy. Yeah. Good. Okay, so tomorrow, our last morning, we'll be looking at the King, Queen, Sovereign, and Fool. We'll look at both of those two, of how we bring those qualities into meditation practice and what that's all about. So wonderful to spend this time with you this morning, and have a lovely day. There's so much choice. I don't know what to go to today. There's just so many things I want to go to. So much love to you all. Bye.